All right, so officially welcome, Susie and Sally. Nice to see you here. So just going to share my screen. Just going to have a look at today's quote and a little associated message, and then that'll lead us nicely into the lesson for today. So yeah, Susie, would you read that quote for us, please?
To meet everything and everyone through stillness instead of mental noise is the greatest gift you can offer the universe.
So any thoughts on that?
It's beautiful, isn't it? Says it just the way it's meant to be.
To meet everyone and everything through stillness. So you have a quiet mind, you're still, instead of mental noise, which is just lots of thoughts. Mental noise is useless thought, lots of thoughts, busy mind, buzzing around with no real purpose to it. So usually that busy mind is busy judging, evaluating, what it can get from a situation, feeling upset, fearful, angry. So all of the dysfunctional emotions go with the mental noise. And Eckhart's just saying, well, just meet everyone and everything with stillness from this quiet place in you. And it's a beautiful reminder. Just meet people from the still, quiet place, and they will tend to pick up that energy. Feel that presence, and that changes the encounter. Then it becomes what the Course calls a holy encounter, which is where two people are meeting in the stillness, in the presence, and their meeting unites them in that presence, and they both have a greater access to that presence because of it. Okay, and I want to read the next couple of paragraphs there.
Starting in today's inspirational quote, Eckhart Tolle points out that being mentally and emotionally still is the greatest gift you can offer to the universe. Why is this? Because love is pure formless awareness before the universe of time and space came into seeming existence. So when you are still, you connect with the timeless essence that underlies the universe of time and space and contribute to the realization of this presence by all the sentient beings that seem to inhabit this universe.
Okay, so any thoughts on that?
It's just lovely, isn't it? And it's the truth.
So this pure formless awareness is by definition still. It's just, it is what it is. It is complete unto itself, and there's no useless thought. You're not thinking in subject-object terms. So this world of duality is made up of subject-object. You have I, subject, perceive, object, person, place, thing outside of me, and now I think about it. And so that creates dualistic thought. And stillness takes you beyond that into pure awareness, a pure formless awareness. You just feel this timeless essence that underlies the entire universe of time and space. So that is it's been called many things, but one of my favorite terms for it is the ground of being. It's the ground of being that everything actually rests on. This is fundamental. You can't go beyond it. Strip everything else away. That's what remains. Stillness. So then that's the essence of God. So when you connect with that, what Eckhart is saying is then you contribute to the realization of this presence by everyone else, all the sentient beings. Because there's really only one mind, and we're all trying to work our way back. We're trying to find that stillness and that essence. Everyone's actually looking for that, and everything's looking for that. So if you find it and you're connected to it, then you become an agent for that presence in this world, and people can connect to it more easily through you.
And yet it just shows in this, well, reality that we're living in is that they do anything to distract you from this piece, don't they? They'll do anything. It's the mind that's doing it, I know, but you can speak to anybody, but there's so much distraction from that beautiful, what you've just said there. It's so lovely.
Well, the world is really, the physical universe and this world are really just a covering over that. They are the veil of illusion that covered over this pure formless awareness. That are now the justification for all kinds of thoughts and emotions that are not of pure formless awareness, that seem to be about separation, and all the pain and the suffering lies in those thoughts and emotions that are seemingly justified by the external world. But that's not really true, because the whole thing's an illusion. The whole thing's based on a false idea of separation. You now project out this world. So the world is in your mind, and now you perceive the world as real, and the world is being used to justify those thoughts and emotions that really characterize the ego, which is just a belief in separation. So it's all connected. That's what Yeshua's trying to teach us. It's, this is the world is not outside of you. It's a projection of your mind. It's a projection of a belief, and it's used to justify that belief, to perpetuate the belief, to keep triggering that belief, which is why you have to let go of your attachment to the world. As long as you're still attached to it, then the belief system that brought it into seeming existence is maintained, the belief in separation. So what he's saying is that let's go to the belief here. Go to core belief. What do you believe in every situation? And if you're believing in separation, then you need to let go of that belief.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, as it shows up. So that might show up as fear for you, or a bit of irritation, or anxiety, or sadness, or depression, or just a general kind of dissatisfaction. Life, however it's showing up, it's a belief in separation that's now showing up, thought and emotion. And he's saying, as that shows up, let it go, because those thoughts and emotions make up the belief system that is behind all of us. So now you're using the world for what it's really for, which is to help you correct your mind.
And it's great if you notice all these things. I guess for me, I think the biggest shift I'm noticing at the minute, obviously from last week to this week, where I thought that I wasn't aligning with my thoughts and my actions, but where I am, I need to bring myself, and like you say, it's a practice to bring myself into the now, and what am I thinking and believing now. And when I stay in that place, I am in the now. I'm not carrying a story.
Yeah.
And I guess it is a practice. It is a practice because I think everything that we've done, or anybody does, even in self-development or anything, all goes down to beliefs, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then you come back to, well, what are you believing? And therefore, from your beliefs, what are you thinking? What are you perceiving? Belief is, is foundational. So I'm actually going to show this. This is the instrument for peace diagram. I might have shown it. I'm not sure you've seen this before, Susie. I know Sally has. This was given to David Hoffmeister by Yeshua. So he kind of has a dialogue with him. And he said, well, this is a diagram that explains this course diagrammatically, how the structure works of the mind. So levels of mind diagram there. You can see perception is at the top level. So that's our sense perceptions, 5 senses, and what underlies that is emotion. So beneath that is emotion often that's underlying our perception. So if let's say we're quite angry with life generally, then we will tend to perceive things and get irritated a lot. and our perceptions are now influenced by emotion. So that's kind of one level down in the mind. It's often hidden by people, suppressed. That lies below perception. Below that is thought. So you're talking about fundamental thoughts. Every emotion has a thought system behind it. So what's the thought? Okay, well, actually, I'm getting irritated because I have an expectation. And I have an expectation because I'm thinking that, I want this, I need this to happen. Well, why do I think that? Why do I want that to happen? Because I have a belief. I have a belief that I'm somehow in need, I'm separate, I'm a victim. So these things must happen to try and kind of fill that hole. So what he's asking us to do through this miraculous process of correcting our mind, start with perception and work through the layers, work through emotion, thought, belief, to get to the desire or prayer of the heart. So the ego has a desire, and that's to be a separate self, to confirm that you actually are a separate self, and that you are a victim of the world. That's its fundamental desire. But we're being asked with a miracle to change that. Go through the whole level and say all of these levels and say, no, actually, my true desire is for oneness. I want only oneness. I want love. And so now my fundamental desire or prayer of the heart changes, and then belief, thought, emotion, perception change. Because if my belief is no longer I'm a separate self, I'm actually one self. My thought then becomes, well, I see, instead of getting irritated with a person, I have compassion, and that then leads to an emotion. I see that I'm one with them, really, and that I'm just projecting it. If they're irritating me, I'm really just projecting that out and using that to justify my anger. So that kind of thought system then comes, and then the emotion is more compassionate, more forgiving, which then changes our perception. So instead of being irritated, judging that person, we let it go, and we find a peace that's transcends it. And so this is what we're doing with the miracle process, is working through these layers to get to the desire or prayer of the heart, change our minds there at the fundamental level, and then it ripples all the way back up through belief, thought, emotion, into a transformed perception. And so you can use this diagram. It's actually a worksheet, so you can fill it in. A is perception. So when I think about whatever, whoever, so what's the situation? That's the level of form. Then I feel, what's the emotion? Because I think that, what's the thought that underlies the emotion? That someone or something is to blame, and or because I'm afraid that something will occur in the future. So that's a thought underneath the emotion, which you're uncovering by filling in the blanks. And then the beliefs, these thoughts and feelings, prove that I'm right, that what's my belief that is being confirmed in the thoughts and the emotions. And then you get to the core thing, which is desire. I'm actually desiring this belief. I want to be separate. And so you get to the core, and when you see it, then the illusion is the bubbles popped. You go, oh right, okay, I'm seeing what I'm doing here. All right. So I can let it go, and then you can work through the worksheet. So if you fill in all these A, B, C, D, E, it just populates the whole worksheet. And you then can see it all laid out. You can read through this and use the worksheet to help you just process it and release it. So quite effective. Sally's used it a few times, haven't you? So
yeah, used it loads, and every time you explain it, I hear a little bit more and know a little bit more about it.
I guess I always remember somebody always saying to me, what is it you believe and why? So I tend to journal, especially like this morning. I had to, because I love the stillness. I've always loved the stillness, but I kept wafting away, and I went down to the fact of what was I asking myself, and it was that I didn't believe I was love. And then I had to ask myself, why don't I believe it? Well, I think it's going to be took away from me. Now, is that really true? Is that really true? If and it's amazing what just uncovered for me this morning that it was, but there's obviously some underlying fear of when I was a child And I never felt that love from the outside, obviously parents and whatever. And it was the whole point of, in my head somewhere, I've lodged that because they didn't love me, nobody else loves me. So a lot came up for me. And it's just amazing, because once I asked myself, is this true? And I knew it wasn't true, you know, and that just uncovers everything, you know, if you just ask yourself, and then knowing what am I without that thought or whatever. Well, I'm just one, you know, you are one. And it's always about the now, because if I can, and I think that's what the trauma or whatever does to you, it does make you believe that you are XXX. And that's why I have to have so many words with myself. But it's actually getting yourself back present today and getting yourself out of what you believed. And, you know, this is why I loved what you've been saying and the way you do it, because was it early last week? It was one atonement, you know, so I'm getting to see how I've actually created all this on my own. You know, even as a child, you may have wanted a caregiver that gave you everything. We didn't have that. A lot of people don't have that. But then to realize that I pretended it all, because how do I know that was the truth? You know, I think it's amazing. I just think, you know, and the way you're saying these things, it's really good.
Well, do that exercise if you want. You know, we can populate the exit this worksheet now on that issue, or you can do it yourself. But you know, I can give you an example. So when I think about, let's say,
it is love. It is being love. That's my biggest hiccup.
Being abandoned as a child. Were you abandoned as a child, or
I was everything, but it's
being abandoned and rejected as a child, something like that. You know, does that kind of describe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was really emotionally neglected, I'd say, because my caregivers were always there, but they didn't know how to care for themselves.
Right. But your parents?
Yeah. I was brought up just by my mum, to be fair.
Right.
But emotionally, because I think I was quite sensitive, but I was always told, well, we know what, I think it is all that not being seen, heard or supported. And I think that's a pattern that consistently comes up in my own head. Yeah. And I guess it is all to do with that.
Abandon and neglect. So when I think about that, I feel, what do you feel?
I feel crap. I feel unworthy. As if I don't deserve love. And when I did think I deserve it, something got took away. So
unworthy of love. And anything else? Sad? Does that make you feel sad, upset, angry?
Sad, really depressed, lonely. I isolate myself.
Anger?
Oh gosh, yeah. The anger's really repressed anger. You know, that's the suppression, and then.
Yeah. Okay. So then you name the emotion. You see how we work it. So perception of a situation. Okay. So when I think about, you know, whatever it is, that's just the level of form, the situation. Then I have an emotion. So now we dig a little bit deeper beyond the perception, because I think that something is to blame. So your mother, your caregiver, who's to blame?
I've always blamed myself.
I'm to blame. Okay.
Yeah.
That I is to blame. Right. So that's Susie. Let's name you Susie. And because I'm afraid that something will occur in the future. What? I'll be rejected in the future. I'll be rejected.
Yeah, not wanted.
In the future.
Yeah.
Rejected and abandoned in the future. So these thoughts and feelings prove that I'm right. That this is belief. So what are you actually proving? What belief system are you proving through this?
I'm proving that it's true, that I will be abandoned and rejected. There's no evidence to say this, because I wouldn't have what I've got today, but I'm just saying, I think for a long time it has been.
Well, really what these are proving is that you're unworthy of love,
Yeah.
And I'm unworthy of love and deserve to be rejected and abandoned.
I was going to say punished for my sins, but what sins?
And,
but I guess as a child,
well, we can say deserve to be punished.
Yeah, for whatever, because I don't know what's going off. It's just a childhood, because it's not.
No.
Yeah.
So what I wanted and expected is 4 desired action, situation, or event. So this is the ego's wanting and expecting. So what does the ego want out of the situation?
Wants to control everything, so that I'm not put in that position to be rejected or abandoned.
Yeah. Okay. Is for me to be in control of everything, of other people as well.
Yeah, because then you find those habits of manipulation, trying to control situations, people. But I guess it's done in a subtle way, because that's how you knew in childhood, and that's the habits and behaviors you see today.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have, in 5 minutes, we've just done a little deep dive into your mind to go, okay, so what's really going on here? Perception through the layers, perception, emotion, thought, belief, to the desire. Okay, so this is the ego's desire. I'm in control of everyone and other people, so I won't be rejected and abandoned, and feel safe, right?
Yeah,
that's going to feel
that's
safe.
Massive. Feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's on survival mode, isn't it? The ego.
Yeah. So now, if you process this through, you say, read this. When I think about upsetting action, situation, or event, read it.
When I think about being abandoned and neglected as a child, I feel unworthy of love, sad, depressed, lonely, and angry, because I think that Susie is to blame, because I'm afraid that I'd be rejected and abandoned
in the future. So thinking about
being abandoned and neglected as a child, feeling unworthy of love, sad, depressed, lonely, and angry, blaming Susie, fearing I'll be rejected and abandoned, to prove that I'm right, that I'm unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. That's quite sad.
Do you see what you're doing? That all of this is just being used to perpetuate this false belief.
And am I right in thinking that's like a self-fulfilled prophecy?
Yeah, of course. So if you believe this, then you will perceive everything in this light. With this thought system, your perception will be according to your belief. You continuously believe that you're being rejected, abandoned, neglected, and that you have to defend against this. You have to try and keep yourself safe against this.
Yeah.
But you can't keep yourself safe against your own belief. If you believe that you're unworthy of love, then you'll keep creating situations that prove that you're unworthy of love, and perceiving them as, oh, well, there we go, there again. Yeah, well, ego says, look, I told you so. You got rejected again. I'm right. You're unworthy of love. There, that person rejected you again. And if you believe that story, then you're tied into the ego's thought system. There seems to be no way out, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Now I find it amazing, because I know, because it was everything that was going off in my head, because I've been with my partner for 30 years, got 2 amazing lads, but I've always knew there was something going off in my head. It's the mind, like you've always said, it's the mind, and that's why I have to really focus on being in the now, because in the now I know that I am love, that everything can be done that way. This just contradicts everything that I'm thinking.
Yeah, so this will stop you. These kinds of beliefs will stop you from entering into the now, because it's all about past and future. It covers over the pure formless awareness, this essence we talked about. So now you're in your mind, it's mental noise, and a lot of dysfunctional thoughts and emotions that are really not serving you in any way, shape, or form come from this belief system. And if you lay it out like this, you can see that. Okay, well, what am I actually doing here? So I want to learn. You want to continue?
I want to learn that there is a way that I can, without guilt, see the part I play in thinking about being abandoned and neglected as a child, feeling unworthy of love, sad, depressed, lonely and angry, blaming Susie, fearing I'll be rejected and abandoned. I release my wanting to be right about my perception of all of this in thinking about being abandoned and neglected as a child, feeling unworthy of love, sad, depressed, lonely and angry, blaming Susie and fearing I'll be rejected and abandoned, and proving that I am unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. I want instead to be happy through the ego distorted thinking, seeing I perceive the cause of my upset and resolution is outside my mind. This projection seems very real. Its purpose is to distract my mind from looking inward. If the case of my upset and its resolution were outside my mind, I would in fact be powerless to change my state of mind. My use of projection, seen outside and I don't want to see within, is why I seem powerless. Wow. Why Susie? I'll be rejected and abandoned. Being abandoned and neglected as a child, thinking about being abandoned and neglected as a child, feeling unworthy of love, sad, depressed, lonely and angry, blaming Susie, and I'll be rejected and abandoned. The results from my belief that I am unworthy of love and deserve to be punished.
So can you see how all of this is a consequence of that belief?
That's definitely.
If you believe that, then you have to have these kinds of thoughts and emotions, and it's not a very happy existence at all.
No. And I guess that is how I've been living, because it's like that hamster wheel, because it's like that loop of despair. And, I've focused on mindfulness for quite a while, and then I got off it. Wow.
So it's uncovering. So you see how it's simple. Okay, well, I've got this issue, childhood. If you go through a process like this, you uncover the core belief quite quickly. That core belief is your fundamental life operating program. That has governed so much of your thinking and your behavior in your life. And if you can undo that,
and that, like I said, that's amazing, because even if I've been together with, my family wasn't great growing up, but my family today is really good, that I've created. But there's obviously something within me that still does that.
So kind of a residual, false self-image, and this just highlights it, gets you to the point of seeing it, and then when you see it, you go, well, do I believe that? I'm unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. Do I really believe that? If it's stated with that amount of brutal honesty, is that really the case? Is that true? And you can't say it's true. That's just it's a perception. It's a belief, and so it's not true. It's just not fact. That's belief only. This is what's happening in your own belief. If you look to the past may seem to confirm that belief is true, but the belief preceded the whatever happened. So your karma is such that you have a belief, and then that belief leads to the apparent playing out of the belief. So you get causation in the mind, and then because you've got a belief like that, then you experience a childhood like you did. See, so that's like a residual. It's a karmic belief that then plays out in childhood. You go, well, what did I do to deserve this? But this is a pattern that you came into this life with. So these karmic patterns, these really just false beliefs, as that's all they are, just need to be brought into awareness, exposed for what they are, and then released. You can see that this is the belief that underlies this whole construct, all of these thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Then you can undo it, can't you?
And yet that's so strong, that result from the belief that I'm unworthy of love and deserve to be punished is like, because as a child, I don't even know what went off. But yet I'm carrying on that story and I don't even know what happened. It's just like you said, I formed that belief. And then I've made it like really, and I think every time something happens in your life, like the kids are doing their own thing because now they're older, they're in their 20s, they're leaving, and it's like you're left again, aren't you? Like you could say empty nest syndrome or whatever when kids leave or whatever, but then you're left with your own defenses again. And then you realize, oh my gosh, actually, I didn't realize as such as doing the Course in Miracles how much I have been doing that to myself. I am punishing me for whatever reason.
Exactly.
Yet bringing it to light and bringing it here. I mean, I feel real relief at the minute. I do feel a bit of I guess because you put me on the spot there, I think, and it's just happened. Do you know what I mean? It's happened organically because you just says, oh, I've got this, and you've got this great openness of wanting to support others, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's just. There's only a couple of more pages to go. Read through it, and then I'll save this.
Okay, thank you.
So you've got it. Yeah.
I am only upset at someone or something when it mirrors back to my mind a belief which I've denied from awareness. Wow, powerful. That's true. When I blame fear, something in the world, it is to avoid seeing the upset and resolution as they really are, a decision in my mind, and to instead maintain an image of self, other, or the world as I wish. True. This mind trick seems to displace guilt and fear, but actually maintains feelings of upset. To blame or fear an image of self, other, the world requires that I believe I am limited to a body and world of bodies, and denies the spiritual abstract reality of my being. As a first step in letting go of all upset, I want to see in my mind what I thought was outside it. Being upset about being abandoned and neglected as a child is only another attempt to make Susie and the future thought I'll be rejected and abandoned the cause of my guilt and fear. Upset seems valuable and justifiable when being abandoned and neglected as a child runs counter to what I want. What I wanted and expected is for me to be in control of everything and other people so I wouldn't be rejected, abandoned. I still believe that I am unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. So I think I need, I think I need for me to be in control of everything and other people so I won't be rejected and abandoned and feel safe, to be happy and complete and at peace. Is this belief in lack and the resulting expectation more important to me than peace of mind?
So see what it's doing there? It's highlighting, well, if I believe this, then I have this this pattern of, well, I've got to control everyone and everything to make myself safe, prevent myself from being abandoned and rejected. And this is what I've set up in my mind to be happy, complete, and at peace. can I just look at that again and see that this is really never going to work? I'm never going to find the true peace and completion and happiness that I'm looking for in this belief system, because it's a belief system based on lack, based on I'm unworthy, I don't have enough love. So how can that really complete me and fulfill me? And all of my attempts to try and make it do so only perpetuate the delusion that I'm unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. So we go round and around trying to fix it within the ego's thought system, and you never will. You just perpetuate the belief system, and you'll keep playing out the patterns of feeling guilty, feeling fearful, trying to control manipulation. These happen because you're feeling guilty and fearful, and you don't want to be hurt.
Pure chaos, isn't it?
This is just highlighting that it's all coming from your own belief. This is the problem. The problem is your own belief. The problem is not out there.
No.
So, are you actually willing to look at that belief and let it go?
Yeah, most definitely.
That's all it's saying. So, all right. So let's continue. Number 9.
Let me just go back that way so I can see. Is it? Oh, number 9. Yes, that's it. Everything in the world works together for my good. What I think is the cause of my upset is not the cause at all. The choice to be upset is a choice not to see the cause. My belief in separation, lack, as a present decision in my mind. It's an attempt to see the cause in the past, future, and the present as its effect.
So we're trying to make the past real here. It's not really the cause. The cause is the belief. You have a belief. Now that seems to be justified by the past, but in truth, you're just allowing the past to confirm a false belief that is presently operating in your mind. So the belief is there, and you can choose to let it go now.
Yeah.
It's a present decision in your mind. Every time you play this pattern, you're saying, I believe I'm unworthy of love and I deserve to be punished. That's the underlying belief. That's what you're telling your mind. And it's true for you if you believe it to be true. If you keep playing the pattern, then that belief gets confirmed, and the belief becomes, more and more entrenched. But it is a present belief, as they're saying here. So you can choose right now to let it go.
Yes. So question the belief.
So what I want right now,
above all else, is peace. Yeah, peace with the past, peace with who I am. What I want right now, above all else, is peace. I question the belief that I am unworthy of love and deserve to be punished. And I voluntarily let go of the desire for me to be in control of everything and other people, so I won't be rejected and abandoned and feel safe, in order to reconnect with my one goal, peace. Peace of mind is a present decision.
So I question that belief that I'm unworthy of love. And I let go of the desire to control. Because this starts undoing the ego pattern. You see how the behavior then perpetuates the belief. So you've got to let go of both.
Yeah.
So, I let this go. I don't need to be in control of everything. I don't want to be in control of everything. Because this belief that's seemingly, causing me to try and do this is not true. So therefore the behavior is not really justified. Okay.
And it is love that's brought me here to sort it out, which is amazing, isn't it?
Oh. Absolutely.
Brilliant. In order to reconnect with my one goal, which is peace. Peace of mind is a present decision, which I gratefully choose right now. Guilt and fear of consequences only seemed possible because I was determined Oh my gosh, that's so true, because I was determined to hold on. I kept thinking, what am I holding on to? Hold on to a belief in past, future cause. I let go of the meaning I gave to the past, future, and open my mind to the present, absolved and innocent.
Hmm. So you can choose that right now. All of this. Once you highlight it and you see what the belief is and what the behavior pattern is that leads to, it's like pricking the bubble. You go, really? Okay, I have been doing that, but that's when I bring it into this kind of clear light of true awareness. It just seems rather ridiculous and a bit sad. Like, well, why would I continue doing that? So
I'm really
ready to
grateful.
release it.
Yeah. So because I'm noticing these things, you know, how I could tell you just like that about the behaviors and, oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for the, well, I am grateful for the realization that the cause of my upset, which I thought was in the world, was actually only an unquestioned belief and decision in my mind. I've decided anew for my peace of mind.
Hmm. And then you can write down any insight and save it. So I'll save this for you if you like and send it to you.
And the truth right now is to focus on the now, because it is love, loving awareness. It is love that's brought me here to sort myself out, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I thank you both for being here, present, to witness this.
Wow.
Cheers with my water.
My pleasure. Yeah. Cheers to that. Okay, so I'll just save that for you.
Thank you so much.
Powerful stuff, isn't it?
That was amazing.
Now, print to PDF. So that's how you use it. You saw how I use it. I can send you the original, and then if you want to do another one, you just populate it, and then to save it, just I'm using a print. I'm using a browser, Google Chrome. You could do it in Adobe Reader if you wanted to, but Google Chrome will work well. And then you could just go print it to PDF. You choose the PDF setting, and then you print, and then it'll print it out to wherever you choose. So let me just get into the right folder. So where are we? No, I had a folder for it somewhere because I've done one of these before. Presentation recordings, maybe under there. Geometry diagrams properly. Like I've got it somewhere here. Anyway, I'll just save it. Processes and sessions. There we go. That's what I wanted. Just remember what I've called it. So this is. So we've done a couple of these. Instrument for peace exercise. Save. Oh, so then I'll just send it to you on Telegram.
Thank you.
Right now, before I forget. There we go. So
it was quite moving watching it being processed.
Yeah.
When I'm doing it myself, you know, I'm getting the little aha moments as I'm doing it, but it's lovely watching it being done, if you know what I mean. And hearing you go, Susie, oh, yeah. Can feel the change in you, which I feel that I benefit from as well.
So there's your completed one, and then I'll just send you the other one. So that's the printed one with what we just did. There's this is the other one. Just the fillable PDF firstly. So if you want to use that, use that to do a fresh one, the instrument for peace diagram and written exercise. And then Susie's one is now a hard print. It's not fillable anymore. It's a hard copy. So you've got that as a reference. So you can refer to that and go, oh, okay, well, if I'm doing the pattern again, just read the worksheet again. Okay,
Yeah,
what's actually going on here?
that's
What it
really
does
deep.
is it takes you through this. It takes you through this whole diagram.
It's actually big, and I think,
You can
yeah,
work through these levels through the process. Work through the levels of mind, gone to there, and then you change your mind here. What's your desire? Your true desires now for for oneness, for peace, and then that starts to undo the belief, thought, emotion, perception. When we get to the Art of Letting Go course, we will flip this flop for you. I mean, you can obviously start doing it now, but that's your flop. What you revealed here. It's your fundamental life operating program. I'm unworthy of love. That's a fundamental program. It's directed.
I find that so amazing, because really, I say that I'm contradicting everything, because how would I be with a partner for 30 years and have two amazing kids? Yet, like I said, once they are out the picture, I am still left with this unworthiness of look. That's just, I can't get my head around that, because that's what's contradicting, and that's what caused the chaos. And I guess last week when I was on this session and I felt all this restlessness, you can see why. I can see why. I can see why my mind, wow.
Well, it's a false belief. So
I need to lie down.
This is a core belief, that you uncover through this. And you go, okay, this has been my program for probably my entire life. I'm unworthy of love. And so even when you have, a loving family and, that's all on the level of form, there's the belief is still there going, oh, but I don't deserve it. Somehow, this isn't, I don't deserve it. I'm going to lose it. Fears come up, whatever, because you can't quite accept that you're worthy of it.
And that's a good word that you just said, because everybody around me accepts me, but all I ever wanted was love and acceptance. And I think the only person that doesn't do it for me is me. And I can see why. I think, oh my gosh, I do need to lie down.
Yeah. You've been blaming yourself. Look who's the target, Susie. All of this, but self-blame is just as much a delusion as blaming anyone else, because it makes guilt and sin real. But the truth is that you never did anything. Remember, we never really separated.
Right.
So you never separated from source. You're still perfect love. None of this is true. None of these beliefs and none of the effects of the beliefs are really true. So nothing that's happened based on this false belief system has really happened. See, this is the course's teaching. It's just saying none of this is true. The belief in separation is false. Therefore, you being unworthy of love, totally false. I mean, you are love. The turnaround. So maybe I'll help you right now. I normally do this in the course. What's the opposite of that belief? I'm unworthy of love. How do you just counter that and state it in opposite terms?
Because that's so worthy. I do deserve it.
I am what? I am what?
I am love. I am.
Exactly. Say it. Yeah. Say it again.
I am love.
And again.
I need to record that. But I did record it for one stage, but I can see why, because I used to record affirmations and listen to them as I went through the night, but then things just kept falling apart and I just keep using it. But because I was in the need of this control, oh gosh, yeah.
So you need to write that out. I am love. Put it up somewhere and every morning read it and say it to yourself a few times. I am love. And you say it aloud and you connect with the energy of it. You connect with the vibration of it. I am love. I am love. And say it 10 times if you need to, because it puts you into that powerful energy of this divine agape love, we call it, which is the field of love. And then everything now is your thoughts, emotions, perceptions are transformed because you're in that energy, you're in that vibration, rather than being in the unworthiness. And if ever the unworthiness comes up and you're feeling sad, rejected, abandoned, you want to control any of the patterns that you've identified, look, the counter is simply I am love. I am love. Because it all just, that's the bubble. The bubble's popped. I am love undoes the cause of it. The cause of it is a belief that I'm not love. I'm unworthy of love. So now you change it. I am love, and the all of it's got to go through that. That single simple statement, 3 words. I am love is absolutely game changing. If you really accept that, that's going to change your life completely. So do it every morning, just as an affirmation. I am love, I am love. And if you look at the email, if you go down to here, I've incorporated it into the email schedule. So what I recommend you do is say your essence statement and core values. So you've just got your essence statement. The core values, we'll work through in the Art of Letting Go course. Those are derivatives of I am love. Just, helpful values that help you to apply the love into this world. So you could certainly come up with some, but I'll facilitate that next year. But you can do this, and then there's actually a guided meditation to take you through that. You want to listen to that. So you can listen and just be guided through your saying your essence statement, or just say it in a minute or two. It's up to you how you want to do it, but really say it every morning, because it's it's powerful stuff. Redirect. I need to fix that. Redirected too many times. So this is kind of one of the things we do in the Art of Letting Go course. Is this powerful transformation there? It's come up finally. So there, it's a 20 minutes. And if you're interested in being guided through this, I do it in the retreat as well. So we're gonna do this process in quite an intense way to really shift in the retreat in September. So is that something that might interest you? I'll send you information if it is.
Right.
I'm doing a retreat in Findhorn, 21st to the 26th.
You gave me a lot to contemplate today, which I'm really grateful for.
Okay, yeah, we'll go and work on it and process it.
I will do.
We'll just see how you go with it, but there's a lot there. Okay, so let's crack on with this. So I've got to go in about just over an hour. So where are we? So Sally, if you can read from What Greater Gift.
What greater gift can you really give to all life than that? As Yeshua says in one of today's workbook lessons for review, all that you give, you also receive. Giving yourself and the world the greatest time you choose to still your mind in the daily workbook lessons, or listening to the breath breaks and meditations that I send you. And when you experience the deep peace that applying the inspirational quotes and workbook lessons included in the emails to your life in these ways, it should bring you will be still and know that I am God.
So that's a direct quote from the Bible. Be still and know that I am God. Or to translate that, be still and know that I am love. So stillness and love go hand in hand, don't they? You can't really know yourself as love if you've got a busy mind thinking about all kinds of stuff with a lot of dysfunctional emotions. Your true essence, your essence identity and stillness go hand in hand. Be still and know that I am love. So that's another affirmation you can use. I am love. Be still and know that I am love. Right? That's something you can use to help you correct your mind. If you find yourself spinning out and the mind is going all over the place, just be still and know that I am love. And that's an instruction to your mind to just be still and reconnect with your essence identity.
So pure formless awareness is still.
Absolutely.
Not moving. So energy moves from one thing to another. So energy is always in motion, is it? And then true state is stillness, like peace. The essence is stable and non-moving, not going anywhere, just in the now.
Yeah.
So movement has to have time.
Yeah.
So in the oneness, there's no time, so there's no movement. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. It's really simple. If nothing ever changes, then nothing can move, and there's no time. So time and space, you see how ingenious it is. Time and space seem to allow change to happen, but they only happen because there's apparently time and space to happen in. And time is only measured. How do we measure time? Oh, well, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. So, there's various events happening in space. Things are moving around in space, and then we go, oh, but there's now time elapsing between, that action and that action, and now we have the construct of time and space that has actually just covered over the now, because the truth is, it's always now. Whatever you're doing, it's always now. It's never not been now. That's the only true reality. But in our perception of it, we seem to have time and space. Things move around in space, and as we time is the measurement of, oh, how fast did they move? Oh, okay, well, it took X to move from there to there, but it implies movement and change. You see, time and space imply movement and change. But if you go beyond that into pure formless awareness, where nothing changes, then it's an eternally still state. There is no movement, there is no change. There's only this pure formless awareness, this essence of life, of truth that you are. That's love. The words don't really even do it justice. You can call it stillness, you can call it peace, you can call it love. It's just a presence. Presence, another word. I mean, we have to use a word to kind of point to it. But it's just, once you know it, if you rest in that, you go, like I know it experientially. You can't really know it intellectually or conceptually because it's not a concept. It's an awareness. That's all it is. Pure formless awareness. That's why I call it that. So our task is just to access that. It's not rocket science. It's just pure formless awareness. It's base awareness. It's the ground of being beyond which you cannot go. There's no other awareness. You can't break it down anymore. You can't uncover that awareness. There's nothing to let go of there. It just is what it is. God is, we say love is. And then we cease to speak, says Yeshua in the Course. Because what else is there to say? It is. And all of these dysfunctional patterns that we just exposed one for you, Susie, that's just a covering over that. That's just covering over your pure formless awareness to stop you from experiencing it. The only purpose of the cover or the veil is to stop you from experiencing that true awareness and merging your mind with it and going, finally, I get it. I am that presence. And there's really nothing else. I am it. It is me. There's no separation. There's no distinction. And then the Father and the Son, to use Course terminology, have merged and become one. Your mind is one with that awareness. It's one awareness, and there's no distinction, there's no separation, no difference. That state is called the enlightened state. When you really identify you only have that awareness in your mind. There's no separate self concept that's lurking around there saying I'm unworthy of love. Well, you think that belief is now some kind of separation from this pure formless awareness, isn't it? So our job becomes just to uncover it all, uncover it, bring it into conscious awareness, and then let it go. Say, no, this isn't something I want or need.
Very profound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's enormously profound, but it's so simple. It's like, well, yes, we all know this. What Yeshua is doing, what I'm doing, it's just, this already. It's like, I'm not telling you anything you don't know deep down. It's just reminding you because you've forgotten. We've all come here and we've forgotten that awareness. And we've covered over that awareness with another awareness, which we call the ego, a belief in separation and, all of its ways and shapes and forms and manifestations. None of which, of course, is true, because only this awareness, pure formless awareness, of perfect love is true. And that's a simple teaching. So as he says, this course is very, very simple, and you'll believe it entirely or not at all. You're either going to believe that, yes, only this is true, or you're going to try and make other things true and make all the other egoic beliefs and thoughts and awareness true. And he's saying, well, you can't, because then you're in an illusion and you will not have the peace of God. You will never find peace in the veil, because it's not designed to be a peaceful place. It's designed to be a place, time and space, were designed to disturb your mind. They are a product of the disturbance of your mind, you see. When we had the belief in separation, we projected it all out. That disturbance in mind got projected out into the dream world. And so now it's no wonder we have such a restless, disturbed world, because it's a projection of a disturbed mind. Does that make sense?
Mm.
If you look at this, where are we? Course manual. So going back to Descent into Hell. So we have a tiny mad idea of separation. That idea of separation seriously disturbs the mind. The mind's now got this whole other belief system. Guilt and sin result from it. There's now fear, there's anger, there's attack, there's projection. We splurge it all out into an illusory construct of time and space to miscreate a physical universe. And now we think we're living as separate seeming entities, bodies in this, apparently, separate world, separate reality. And it's chaos. It's really not very peaceful and happy at all, because all of that disturbance in the mind has been projected into the illusion. And so what we're seeing is the projection of our own diseased belief system. Right? This is the thought of separation is a dis-ease in the mind. You can never be at peace with that thought, because you're not resting in who you really are. You're denying your true identity. So this is why the world is sick and diseased, because it's a projection of a diseased belief system. And so our job here is to just heal it, to see it for what it is, see all of this as just a projection of a false mind, a mind that is not true, a belief that's not true. Let's get very clear. It's not even a mind. It's a belief in your mind.
I'm just looking at what you've written for fear, because in my book I'd written fear, false evidence appearing real, whereas yours, false expectation of punishment appearing real. Oh my gosh.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been doing. I put in my book, fear means false evidence appearing real, but yours is to the point. For me, it is to the point, because that's what I chose to do without even realizing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's all fear is, and it's all false, because you never separated. Yeshua's just saying to us, you never really pulled this off. You can't really separate from who you are. It's impossible. So you've got an impossible belief system which you're trying to justify through this world, and just recognize that it's not true. None of these thoughts and emotions and beliefs are true, and then you're free. There's no guilt. If you never separated, and there was never a thought of separation, then how can you be guilty for anything? What's there to feel guilty for? There's no sin. You never did anything wrong. So then fear is not justified. Well, if there's no guilt or sin, then how can you fear punishment? For what? You never did anything wrong. You see where this is going? You see what he's saying? And so the whole thing just implodes. The entire belief system that is the ego just collapses, and you're back in pure formless awareness. Just resting there. Well, actually, nothing ever really happened. I can just rest here in perfect peace, no matter what seems to be happening in this crazy illusion. This is still the truth, and I can rest here no matter what. So, be still and know that I am God. And so all we have to do here is just become aware of this belief system in our minds, bring it into the light of conscious awareness, judge it with the Holy Spirit, reinterpret it with the Holy Spirit, which simply says, nah, it's not true. Sorry, not true, not true, not true. Let it go. If it's not true, why are you thinking those thoughts? Why are you believing those beliefs? Why are you feeling those emotions if it's not true? If it never happened?
You don't even know what you're thinking though, do you? Because that was my core belief. Because honestly, how do you know what you're thinking unless you're really paying attention to what you're thinking?
Well, so it requires awareness. This is why awareness of thoughts and emotions is key. Because then you become aware of them and you go, oh, actually, that's not a very nice thought. That doesn't make me feel good. I now have a negative feeling. So, but I'm aware of it. Then with that awareness, I can use that awareness to help me let it go, can't I? Say, okay, well, I don't want to continue on in this, so I'm gonna release that. And when you release any part of the ego, you're actually saying, well, none of it's true. None of this is true. So I'm willing to release my fear. It's part of undoing the whole thing. We do it systematically and progressively. It doesn't all happen at once. In the end, he's saying, you'll drop all of this. Guilt, sin, fear, attack thoughts, all of it just goes. Therefore, the belief in separation goes, and you return your mind to pure formless awareness. And then you're enlightened. Then there's nothing else to do. You remain in that state forever, for all eternity. So really, you're getting it. It's really simple. This is not rocket science, what he's saying. But it's totally counterintuitive to the world. So you just have to get really good at saying, well, whatever the world is showing me, whatever's going on here in this red scrum is not true. So I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to think the thoughts. I'm not going to feel the emotions. I'm going to restore my mind consistently to this awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love, no matter what. And that's a simple practice that he's asking us to do, using these mind training lessons to help us. Does the methodology make sense? Given the metaphysics, this is why it's important to understand the metaphysics. Given, okay, if this is true, if this concept that I've drawn out in the diagram is true, this is actually how it's working, then the only thing that makes sense in this world is to let it go, isn't it? Because this is all just an illusion. It's not true. So you can't try and make it real and true and expect to find what it's denied, pure formless awareness. You must let it go. I am out of the metaphysics.
I am conscious that I'm listening to you all, and it's not like I'm falling asleep. I just think a part of me is bloody dying. It's just, I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a purge or whatever, but I feel quite sick with it. But I know it's just a part of me, that belief's dying.
Yeah. So when the ego dies, it can feel quite uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I feel a bit sick really, but
yeah. But,
and I'm not saying I'm not paying attention, but I'm with you, but I'm not, if you know what I mean, or I'm aware of too many things going off at the minute.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of mind blowing. It is. This is like, whoa, this is not reality. Who I thought I was is not true. The world is not real. Wrap your head around that. It takes a while. But that's why we practice. Daily practice. As Sally said, just keep topping up, and you get this more and more. You start to just get it on a deeper level and be able to apply it more and more to your life. And that's why we do ongoing practice and mind training, because you can have this realization, but you wake up the next day and you still seem to be human. Your body's still here, the world's still there, and you got to carry on. The idea is to carry on in a transformed way. Your perception of everything has changed. So you change the world not by trying to create change on the level of form. You change the world by changing your beliefs and changing your perception. So the moment you do that, you've changed the world. The world is just perceptual. You see how it works. I change my belief, I change the world instantly, because my perception of it, which is where the world is, it's a perceptual world. It has no fundamental existence other than in your perception. Now my perception's changed. So I change my belief, change my perception. I can do that in a moment. So I change the world in a moment. And when people say, well, you can change the world in an instant, that's what they mean. It's happening on the mind level. It's happening in the perceptual domain. And but that's where the world exists. The world is not out there. The world is in your perception. Everything here is only there because you perceive it to be there. It has no independent existence of you. Again, this is the quantum mechanics is saying the same thing. There is no reality in the absence of observation, because we made it up. The belief in separation made all of this up. So it's in our minds, seemingly out of our minds. We literally went out of our minds, but it's not really out of our minds. It's in our minds, being projected out. And the illusion is that we can do that, seemingly projected out of mind, seemingly separate from us, and now we can perceive it as something outside of us and separate. But that's an illusion. That's false. So the whole construct just collapses when you understand this, because you go, it's all false. The idea of separation, which kicked it all off, is not true. So therefore, nothing that comes from it is true. So I can just pull the plug on all of it and go back to pure formless awareness. Okay. So be still and know that I'm God. That's just, it's worth watching. That was a good discussion session, if I recall. 2 pictures, relationships, how forgiveness helps you choose the right one. Some very, very useful stuff in that if you haven't listened to that. So that brings us to our, we'll skip the instructions for the review. That brings us to today's lesson, which is really short and sweet. These review lessons are generally pretty short. So I think just, Susie, if you read the core idea, the one he asks you to start with, my mind holds only
what I think with God. Pure, formless awareness of perfect love. In quiet, I receive God.
So just pause it there. So let's just chat about that. So, any thoughts on that main idea?
Yeah, I still don't. I mean, I like how you swap words, because I don't. Never been comfortable with the word God, but I don't mind pure, formless awareness and love. Which is weird, isn't it? But it is what it is. I don't know why words mean so much, don't they? The meaning that we give to them.
Yeah. So for many people, God is not a good pointer into the state. See, what we're really talking about here is a state of mind. The mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. So all of my thoughts are coming from this awareness. That's what it's saying. The danger with God is a lot of people go, well, God is just a concept. I don't really understand what God is. It's a word, and there's a sort of concept of something outside of me. Well, it's not outside of you. It's your very fundamental awareness. It's your own true awareness.
It's what you've been conditioned to believe, isn't it, when you go to wherever to do whatever, I guess.
Yeah, well, church, it's God's outside, and they have to kind of have that construct if they're going to be the intermediaries. Because if God's within you and you can just listen to that presence, then why do you need a church? Why do you need a priest, or any of the other religions also have their intermediaries? You don't need an intermediary. You go direct. It's like, well, there we go. It's in my own awareness. I can experience the love. I can experience the peace for myself. And I don't need an interpreter. I don't need an intermediary. It's right there. And so the mystics like Yeshua, Buddha, there's been many in history. They threaten the sort of traditional religious establishment, because they're saying, well, just go direct. God is in you, and you can connect with that presence directly. You need no intermediaries. You don't need, all of the rituals. You don't need a building to go and worship in. Just connect with it wherever, whenever. In fact, stay connected to it all the time. If my mind holds only what I think with God, then this awareness is always there, directing my thoughts, my words, and my actions. So it's a statement, a complete statement of, the truth. And if you find that that's not the case, or I've got other thoughts going on, then it becomes a correction for that. So, my mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. Okay, well, this thought is clearly not pure formless awareness of perfect love. It's clearly out of accord with that. It's a disturbing thought. I'm not feeling I'm not feeling the love, I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling guilt, I'm feeling anger, or whatever it is. So, okay, use the idea to correct and bring my mind back to the knowledge of the truth. Yes, actually only pure formless awareness of perfect love is true. So while we, still operating in a dream world, ultimately subject-object perception is going to disappear entirely. But while we seem to be here, the best we can do is put our thoughts in charge, put this pure formless awareness of perfect love in charge of our thoughts, and allow it to direct thoughts, words, emotions, and so on. So, that's what he's asking us to do with the key statement. Okay, just set yourself into that. Spend a minute or two with it to reset, recalibrate your mind into a kind of a deeper connection. And then within that presence that you've created, you now bring in the other two ideas, which are likely to go in a bit more deeply because of the first idea that's kind of prepared the way. It's a bit like in, to use an analogy in this world, if you're having a meal, and you have a sorbet or some kind of appetizer just to kind of clean your palate to make you ready for the main course. This is what you're doing, saying, okay, just use this. It's kind of the appetizer to get you ready, so that the main course of these two ideas they'll sink in more deeply into your mind and have a sort of more meaningful impact. Okay, so any other thoughts on the main idea? My mind holds only what I think with God, or pure formless awareness of perfect love.
There's a little part of me that feels that thinking isn't quite the right word for love. That it's more like a download, isn't it? It's more like a receiving. A thought feels like it's more ego-based, but I accept the quote.
Well, what he's trying to do is allow this awareness to come into our thoughts, because whether you like it or not, in this world you're going to be thinking on some level. There's thoughts going through your mind all the time. You're dealing with illusions, so you still have to deal with them, and we deal with things with thought. Everything starts with a thought. So he's saying, well, bring that all of your thoughts under the guidance of pure formless awareness. So they are connected to that. So it's not a direct, if you think, well, I need to, let's say, in my case, I'm running a retreat. I need to run a retreat. Okay, well, send out some promotional copy. I need to do a web page. These are thoughts, but they're really being directed by pure formless awareness, because the whole purpose of the retreat is to facilitate people's entry into pure formless awareness. So that's it's a derivative of it. It's related, it's connected to it, even though it's not, the just pure formless awareness of perfect love. There's no subject-object thought anymore. You're not thinking about anything in time and space. It's a purely revelatory experience where you just rest in the pure beingness, this pure formless awareness, and there's no requirement to think about things like retreats or whatever in this world. There's no subject, because there's nothing else. There's no subject object. It's just pure formless awareness, complete unto itself, nothing else. But while we're in this world, we need to think. It's virtually impossible to operate without thinking. So he's saying, just bring your thinking under the guidance of this pure formless awareness. So you feel that it's connected, that you're not departing and going and contradicting it, and covering it over and denying it with your thoughts. It's actually coming from that, and it's in alignment with it. And this is, what your purpose is. If you direct yourself with a powerful purpose, I am this awareness, my only job is to spread this awareness into the world, and you allow that to guide you, then all of your thoughts and emotions that come, from that guidance are connected to the underlying awareness. And so now God is in everything you do. God is directing everything you do. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next one, Sally's just gone. So Susie, if you read.
In quiet, I receive God's perfect love's word message today.
So again, use the alternative form if you like. In quiet, I receive perfect love's message today. What does that feel like when you say that?
Silence.
Yeah, you just like there's just that moment of sounds nice, and you just kind of drop it.
Yeah, pure. But yeah, I just believe being in that stillness, and you're getting messages all the time. And if you're listening, they are of pure love. They're never nasty.
Yeah. So that's stillness. Stillness is the essence of love. Stillness is the pure formless awareness of perfect love, out of which it all comes. So when you connect with stillness, you are listening to this voice or this message of perfect love. Perfect love's a word. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a word in
No.
The word really means message. It's like a feeling. It's a presence, and you might just feel really connected to it, and no sort of specific thoughts required. Sometimes after a meditation, after you've gone into it, you might then get some downloads, as Sally says, some ideas that come in. Oh, okay, well, actually, this is perfect love. This pure formless awareness of perfect love directing me to do this and go, do something on the level of form that's helpful. That's directing you back to itself, because that's the only goal. Perfect love is somebody directing you back to an awareness of it, always. The invitation's always there, and if you listen to the guidance, then that's where you'll go. You'll end up back in pure formless awareness of perfect love, which in truth you never left. It's always been your reality, just covered over temporarily by the ego, belief in separation. Okay. Any other thoughts on the first? In quiet, I receive perfect love's message today. Just say it, and then you kind of just drop into the quietness.
I'm just contemplating that. If only you knew this as a young child or a young. It's weird, isn't it? But you were probably, you were conditioned not to believe in that way, and then and that's where the war starts within yourself, because you didn't believe this at the beginning. You never, or if you did, and then you have to live so many experiences, I guess, for you to actually get to that point where you've actually had enough, and then you get these things, and you just pay attention a bit more, don't you, and do it for yourself and everybody else.
So any other thoughts on that second idea?
It just makes me smile how resistant I can be to be in the quiet.
So if you just sit, and you don't say anything, you just like sit for a few moments, and you can actually listen to the silence. It's like,
and it's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. And then I go off into the ego world, forget all about it, don't do it. And like this morning, I was trying to get a download, and I wasn't giving myself the peace to receive anything.
Right.
Go end up playing in the ego world instead. It's ridiculous.
Which is thoughts. Whenever your mind is full of lots of thoughts, and you go, okay, time to get still and get quiet. And if you can reset, and then your thoughts following that will be different. So often after a meditation, you can then get a download. Something comes in, it's like, oh, that's actually really helpful to hear, and that we then call the Holy Spirit, or the remembrance of love. It's reminding us, and it's giving us quite a helpful thought, to help us deal with whatever the situation or problem is that we're dealing with. So the meditations and the breath breaks just kind of reset you into the connection with the deeper awareness that's now going to then direct your thoughts, words, and actions.
And it's amazing. It's here when we're here. There's like I know I've had a bit of a mishmash going off today, but it feels like a golden temple inside now. That's what I can say to you, because even though we're present here, we're listening to one another, that silence is still here. It's still present with us. And like I said at one stage, and all I can say is it's that silence of that essence, which is so golden. It feels like gold to touch, because it's just amazing. It really is. And even when you're talking away, but I can feel that, I can sense it. It's really, really, and I often say to people, you talk, but it's still there, and I can still sense it's still here. That's what's amazing.
Because it is always there. So the art of
those beliefs
living in the world is to connect to that, stay connected to that presence, even while you're operating in the world and you're speaking to people and you're moving around. So you seem to be in time and space, and there's things changing all the time. Moment by moment, things change in time. Nothing's the same second by second. But you're rooted in this deeper awareness. It's like, actually, nothing's really changing. I'm in this golden presence, the presence of love. There's stillness. And I carry that with me. God goes with me wherever I go. It's another course lesson. This loving presence goes with me wherever I go. So I can never be without it.
That false belief.
My fundamental mind.
Yeah.
I can't lose it.
That false belief is like, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. But if you stay in there and it's not, that's really unbelievable.
Well, it's revealed then as false. If you can feel the presence now, then how can you be unworthy of that presence?
No.
Right now, it's there for you always. The only delusion is that because you think you're not worthy of it, you deny it. So you deny yourself that experience, and you disconnect yourself from this presence, and then you feel lonely and abandoned and afraid and rejected and all of that. But that's just a delusion, because that presence is always there, and it's always been there. So realization, enlightenment is just coming to sanity and going, well, that's just ridiculous. What a crazy belief system. I am this. This presence is always there. It's never been missing or absent, and I accept it fully. And I just live in it. There's nothing special or phenomenal or mystical. It's just who I am. Always been there, always will be. The very foundation of my awareness. So how can it not be there? But if you start to consciously experience it, as you say, it's like this golden presence in you. You go, oh, that just feels really nice. It feels really calming, really peaceful. I can just stay rooted in this no matter what. And then you're safe. You see, why do you need safety? Why do you need to control and manipulate the furniture on this level? Because that's all you're trying to do, rearrange the furniture in time and space to try and make you safe. Why do you need to do that if you have that presence that's making you safe moment by moment by moment? No matter what's happening on the level of form, you are safe in that presence. So then the fear, the guilt, and all the other egoic emotions, just not justified you. It's just really, it's not required, it's not justified, it's not necessary, because I rest in God. I rest in this pure formless awareness. Make sense? Okay, so then just the last idea, all that I give is given to myself. So we'll chat about that, and we'll go into meditation.
All that I give is given to myself.
Yeah, any thoughts about that?
It's just oneness, isn't it, that we're giving to ourselves, and it just is, yeah.
Whatever I give, I'm receiving. Well, why is that true?
Because there's only me here.
Well, just look at it, from a pure experiential point of view. You give love. Let's say you're feeling love towards someone else, or you're feeling grateful. Who's experiencing the love and the gratitude? You are.
The giver, yeah.
So right now you're experiencing what you're giving. You
Mm.
receive it as you give it because it's in your awareness. Now that's so obvious, isn't it? You think, but how could I miss that for my entire life? Because whatever I'm giving, I'm experiencing right now. I experience the love as I give it. So therefore I receive it because I'm experiencing it. So that's the absolutely direct reason why as I give, I'm giving to myself. In time, you might find, oh, well, that shows up as other people give back to you and you have, nice miracles on the level of form. But real time, right now, as you give, you receive. And that applies to, of course, the ego as well. If I give hatred and attack and fear, then I give those to myself. I'm attacking myself. Because right now, real time, as I think and attack thought, I feel that disturbance and that attack on my true being. And I feel that turbulation in myself. So I'm just attacking myself. So it applies both ways. All that I give is given to myself. When you understand the law that this is true, then you should just get told. It makes it very clear to you that you should use your mind wisely. That you should use this law correctly rather than incorrectly. So what are you giving then? So give love and you will experience love. Give peace, you experience peace. Comes back to Eckhart's quote about to meet everything and everyone through stillness instead of mental noise is the greatest gift you can offer the universe. So you're now offering by being still yourself, you're offering that as a gift and you're receiving it at the same time, simultaneously. Okay, so any other thoughts on the lesson, insights, questions?
I guess because of how the session's gone, that whole self-image that I had of myself, that's really hitting true because I wasn't saying it or doing it about anybody else. I was doing it about myself. Yeah, so
you give, let's say, to others, you're trying to control and manipulate and to make yourself safe. What you're giving to yourself is fear. You're giving fear and you're giving unworthiness by that belief. So you're just hurting yourself. And that happens real time. As you indulge in those things, then you experience the negative thoughts and emotion, and you suffer because of it.
Yeah.
Likewise, just by returning your mind to the stillness, you benefit straight away, and then you give it, you benefit straight away. You feel the experience of peace when you give peace. You bless someone, you feel that experience arising real time in your experience. So
yeah.
So Iona, let's say hello to her. Just in time, Iona, we're about to start a meditation. So that was good timing. So yeah, shall we go into a meditation?
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah, that would be great. Hiya.
Hi, Iona. So just making yourself comfortable. Sitting with your feet shoulder width apart. Back straight, cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Clenching the sphincter muscle. Lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine to your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to connecting with your heart space. And just breathing into your heart. Nice, deep, calm, peaceful, quiet state arising. Breathe that in to every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Is in the light. light of this true awareness, and just scan your mind. Just notice whatever thoughts, emotions, sensations that are going on for you. And if there's anything that seems to be disturbing your peace, just be willing to let it go now. So remind yourself that my mind holds only what I think with God, or your formless awareness of perfect love. And you just breathe this presence of love in. To every part of your mind, to every part of your body. If there's any tension in your body, any areas of tension, pain, gross sensations, just breathe this awareness, this loving awareness into those places, those dark places, to bring the light of true awareness. And just receive God's or perfect love's word or message right now. Word or message simply tells you that none of this is real. Nothing is real. And you just exhale. Imagine you just blowing it all away. The breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. And it will go surrendering into the stillness. In quiet, receive love's message to you. And in this deep experience, you realize that all that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. Love, the peace, the joy to give is experienced right now in real time. So it is given to yourself. So breathe it in, every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind. Every fiber of your being is in the light. From your true awareness. So nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Nothing else to think about. Just Breathe, relax, and be still. Observe the breath flowing in and out through your nostrils. And sink deeper, deeper and deeper with each breath into still, calm, quiet place in your mind. And rest in that place for a few minutes of deep silence. Say, I am quiet. I receive perfect love's message today. With that intention, just allow that message to come in, not in words, but as an experience, a deep experience of this love. The next few minutes of deep silence, just surrender to that experience completely. And so any thoughts come in to seemingly disturb this deep quietness, this peace, just observe them. Remind yourself, my mind holds only what I think with God, only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. So blow them all away. The breeze of your breath like dark clouds, and sink into the eternal blue sky of your true awareness beyond cloud patterns. And you just rest. Rest in the stillness and the peace. And then a couple of minutes of deep silence, nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, just breathe, observe the breath flowing in and out of the nostrils. With each breath, get more and more relaxed, sink deeply into this deep state of mind, deep connected state. Next few minutes of deep silence, just abide in quiet and let love's message speak to you. So just gently coming back. Deep connected state. Some awareness of the body, the breath, and the senses and the world. One, just the stomach rises and the chest rises, and flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing for the inhale. Observing any thoughts, any emotions going on, any physical sensations attached to these. If there's anything that's not pure, just let it go by saying, my mind holds only what I think. It's God, it's love with this pure formless awareness of perfect love. Blow it all out. It helps you can resonance like a cloud pattern, just being blown away with the breeze of your breath. And the energy subside back down from the crown of your head, down the front channel of your body, the stomach and chest sucking back in. Your weight and buttocks down onto the chair or the sofa. Notice what you're feeling and touching with your hand. There's a subtle flow of air, and breathe that air. Just any smell taste in your mouth. Notice the surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things from this very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. Without judgment, without interpretation, without naming and labeling things. This awareness is always there. Susie said in the discussion, it's like a golden feeling. The pearl of greatest price, the treasure within you. So you're going to stay connected to this presence. It's with you wherever you go for the rest of the afternoon, on to the evening until our next session, if you're going to join that. In the meantime, just practice well, use today's key ideas frequently, ideally every hour for a minute or two, just dwell on them and just drop back into the state. If you have a bit more time, I've sent you a breath break, which is about 3 minutes, which you can listen to just top you up. Just top up your tank of presence frequently till our next major connection with it, which will be this evening from 8:30 p.m. UK time. And so, on the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around, observing various objects in the room around you for a minute. Let your eyes rest randomly on whatever for a few seconds, and then notice whatever else is there. And notice that the underlying awareness is the same. There's really no change in it. So you're starting to train your mind that awareness, it's golden awareness, as Susie called it, is always there, and is underlying all of your sense perceptions, underlying all of your thoughts. And start to live the truth that my mind holds only what I think with God or pure formless awareness. Perfect love. So I wish you good practicing, that you stay connected to this golden awareness for the rest of the afternoon, evening, and hope to see you a little bit later for the evening session, which will start at 8:30. Okay, so brings us to the end of the session. Thanks, Iona, for joining.